Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your dreams aren't just nighttime fantasies? And that those strange coincidences in your daily life, like hearing the same phrase from different people, seeing repeating numbers, or finding answers in unexpected places, might actually be guiding you toward a new reality? Well, according to Carl Jung, none of it is random. There's a greater intelligence at work, and it's trying to wake you up. But the real question is, are you paying attention or just letting it all slip by? Most people live on autopilot, thinking everything is just chance. But Jung was one of the first to clearly state that dreams and synchronicities are symbolic ways in which the unconscious communicates with the universe. And if you know how to read these signs, you can completely change the course of your life. That feeling of déjà vu, that gut instinct that turns out to be right, that unexpected twist that shifts everything. It's not illusion. It's spiritual language, and understanding it is like finding a hidden shortcut on your journey. And if all of this still sounds a bit too out there for you, here's a thought. What if I told you your mind is literally shaping how reality responds to you? And that those responses often show up disguised as coincidences. This video will show you exactly how that works. Together, we'll explore what Carl Jung revealed about dreams, synchronicities, and how these events are, without you even realizing it, shaping your next version. Are you ready to see the world with new eyes? While the world sleeps, the unconscious speaks. And Carl Jung knew this better than anyone. He said that dreams are the soul's coded messages, revealing hidden parts of our psyche that consciousness hasn't yet reached. Every dream image, no matter how strange it may seem, carries a deep symbol, a reflection of who we are on the inside. A runaway train might mean you've lost control of your own journey. An animal following you could represent your instincts trying to get your attention. Nothing is random, not even in your sleep. Jung believed that dreams are a bridge between the mind and the spirit, between what we experience and what we need to understand. They're like mirrors of the soul, offering clues about fears, desires, and hidden potentials. Here's a practical example. Have you ever dreamed you were falling? It's one of the most common dreams. It can symbolize a loss of control, fear of failure, or even resistance to change. If you start writing down your dreams every morning, before you even get out of bed, you'll begin to notice patterns. And that's where your new reality quietly starts to take shape. There's no such thing as a silly dream. Everything means something. Even that dream about your teeth falling out, which many people dismiss, might point to insecurities that are keeping you from speaking out or expressing yourself. It's as if the unconscious is shouting what you've been trying to silence during the day. And if you truly want to live a new reality, you need to listen to these whispers of the soul before they become screams in your body or in your life. When you understand that your dreams are trying to align you with your deepest purpose, you start to see how even the coincidences of the next day carry the same messages. Carl Jung didn't believe in chance. To him, what we call coincidences are actually a sophisticated way the universe communicates with us. He gave these unlikely encounters a name: synchronicities, events that have no causal connection, but hold deep meaning for the person experiencing them. It's like thinking about someone you haven't seen in years, and they call you that very same day. It's not magic, it's alignment. These are moments when the outer world mirrors what's happening within you, and the more you pay attention, the more frequent these signs become. These events work like confirmations that you're on the right path, or warnings that something needs to shift. Have you ever been on the verge of making a big decision and suddenly you hear a song that carries exactly the message you needed? That's synchronicity. The universe operates through codes, and those codes are deciphered by those who are present, aware, and tuned into the frequency of inner truth. Jung would call this the manifestation of the self, the wisest, most integrated part of who you are. And yes, it's always trying to communicate. The problem is most people are too distracted to notice. When someone begins to understand how synchronicities work, they start seeing a completely new world. A world where nothing is random and everything carries a message. And this can be a turning point in your spiritual journey. Life begins to feel less like chaos and more like a well-written script. And you stop being just a spectator. You become a co-author of your own story. Now, if we've been talking about external signs so far, the next step is understanding how what you feel, think, and vibrate internally is, quite literally, building your new reality. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms you." When we talk about reality, we're not just referring to walls and objects. We're talking about the way your mind projects the world outside. According to Jung, the reality you experience is shaped by the energy you emit. Your thoughts, your emotions, and the meanings you assign to synchronicities and dreams. If you believe everything is working against you, that's exactly what you'll attract. But if you believe everything is supporting your growth, things begin to shift. What's that called? Vibration. And vibration creates. Your vibrational energy is the backdrop that colors all your experiences. Think of a radio. You only hear the station you're tuned into. Life works the same way. If you vibrate fear, you attract experiences that feed that fear. If you vibrate love, you start noticing beauty even in the smallest things. Jung believed that the unconscious doesn't just influence our behaviors, it shapes the very structure of our perception. In other words, the real world is, in part, a symbolic extension of your psyche. You live in an interactive field where what you feel shapes what you see. That's why it's so important to ask yourself, what am I vibrating today? Are you in tune with your essence or with your limitations? A powerful and practical exercise is to write down each morning how you want to feel that day, with clarity, emotion, and gratitude, as if it's already happening. Do this for 21 days. What happens won't be magic. It'll be neuroplasticity, alignment, and Jung applauding you from the beyond. And if this already shifted your perspective, imagine what will happen when you learn to decode the invisible signs that surround you daily, even the ones that appear while you sleep or wander through your routine unaware. The mind forgets, but the soul remembers. And that's why recording your dreams, coincidences, and synchronicities isn't some mystical nonsense. It's a powerful practice of deep connection with your true essence. Carl Jung valued the act of writing things down, observing, and decoding the signs that repeat in everyday life, because he knew that's where a new reality begins to take shape. Keeping a journal of these events is like building a hidden map of your spiritual journey. And it doesn't have to be complicated. A notebook, a notes app, or even a voice recorder will do. What matters is not letting it slip by unnoticed. When you go back and read your notes, you'll start noticing patterns. A number that shows up every time you think about changing careers. An animal that appears in your dreams on nights when you feel restless. A phrase you hear over and over without even looking for it. That's not random coincidence. It's a symbolic pattern trying to wake you up. And the more you commit to observing these signs, the more intense they become. It's as if the universe is saying, "Oh, now you're listening. Here's another clue." This kind of active listening is the first step to aligning with the flow of existence. And if you think all of this sounds too subjective, try it. Give it 7 days. Write down every dream you remember when you wake up, and take note of any striking coincidences throughout the day. At the end of the week, read through everything as if you were putting together a puzzle. You'll be surprised at how clearly reality is trying to talk to you. And if it's trying, maybe it's because there's a part of you, forgotten, silenced, that's asking for transformation. And it's in that very place of deep listening that something much greater begins to awaken. Carl Jung never saw the psyche as a machine. To him, it was a living, dynamic field, rich with spiritual meaning. And that's where the most powerful concept he left for those seeking to build a new reality comes in: individuation. This is the process of becoming who you truly are, not who the world expects you to be. And guess how that process begins? Through dreams, synchronicities, and those persistent little coincidences that keep nudging you. When you pay attention and respond to these signs, you're not just having curious experiences, you're answering your soul's call to awaken. That call isn't always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, almost silent. It might be the discomfort you feel even when everything seems fine. It might be that persistent idea that returns in the middle of the night, or even that video that shows up by accident in your feed, telling you exactly what you needed to hear. All of these are manifestations of the self, the deepest, most wise part of the psyche, according to Jung. And that's exactly the role of synchronicities, to align you with this inner center of power. It's not about control, it's about surrender. It's not about finding answers, it's about learning to ask the right questions. When you start walking this path, something magical begins to happen. Your outer reality starts to reflect what's being healed inside. Chaos gives way to clarity. Anxiety is replaced by trust. And you realize that all those things you once called bad luck or fate were actually just mirrors of what needed to be integrated within you. Inner transformation isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, because life doesn't wait. And once you understand that, everything starts to make sense in a way that even the most improbable coincidences begin to feel like part of a much greater plan. So let me ask you honestly, how many times have you had a strange, deep, almost mystical dream and just ignored it? How many coincidences have happened in your life that you brushed off as mere luck or chance? The truth is, if you've made it this far, you can't pretend not to see it anymore. You're being called, and it's not just any call. It's an invitation to consciously build your new reality. But only those who are willing to listen, observe, and most importantly, take action, will truly live it. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Are you going to keep waiting for more signs before you start to change? Will you continue treating dreams as meaningless, or will you finally start decoding the messages your soul has been sending you every night? Will you keep calling it coincidence when it's clearly the universe answering you? Or will you accept that something greater is trying to show you the way? Tell me in the comments, what's the most powerful synchronicity you've ever experienced? Share it. Your story might awaken someone on the other side of the screen. And if this content stirred something in you, if something I said made sense deep inside, then do this. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join me on this journey. Because in the next videos, we'll keep unraveling the hidden codes that shape your reality. And maybe, without even realizing it, you're already living a synchronicity right now.